American professional baseball catcher Robert George Uecker, January 26, 1934 to January 16, 2025, served as the main broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers of Major League Baseball, MLB, for 54 seasons. After playing in the lower levels for several years, Uecker signed with the Milwaukee Braves in 1956 and made his Major League Baseball debut in 1962. Between 1962 and 1967, he was a backup catcher for the Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies, St. Louis Cardinals and Milwaukee Braves. In 1964 he won a World Series with the Cardinals. After his playing career, Uecker went into broadcasting, and beginning in 1971 he voiced the Milwaukee Brewers on radio. Uecker, who gained popularity due to his witty and self-deprecating humor, was often featured on late-night talk shows. Performances from the 1970s and 1980s. As a joke, Johnny Carson called him Mr. Baseball. Uecker's broadcasting career included hosting sports blooper shows and playing legendary play-by-play commentator Harry Doyle in the Major League movies and George Owens on Mr. Belvedere. The National Baseball Hall of Fame presented Uecker with the Ford C. Frick Award in 2003 in recognition of his exceptional broadcasting career. Bob had a net worth of $10 million at his death. In 2001, Bob Uecker received his induction into the National Radio Hall of Fame. He received the Ford C. Frick Award in 2003, which the Baseball Hall of Fame bestows on a broadcaster each year for major contributions to baseball. He has been inducted into the Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor and the American Family Field Walk of Fame. Early life. Robert Uecker was born and reared in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, despite his frequent jokes that he was born during an Oleo run to Illinois. He was the son of Mary Schultz Uecker, a Michigan native, and August Gus Uecker, a Swiss immigrant who came to the United States in 1923. Carol Ann and Rosemary were Uecker's two younger sisters. He grew up going to Borkert Field to watch the Milwaukee Brewers, a minor league team. After joining the U.S. Army in 1954, Uecker advanced to the rank of corporal. He played baseball while serving at Fort Belvoir in Virginia and Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri, where he was teammates with Dick Groat, who would go on to play in the major leagues. Personal life. Uecker and his first wife Joyce died in 2015. They had 4 children: Steve, 1959 to 2012, a cowboy who died from symptoms of San Joaquin Valley fever; Sue Ann and Bob Jr., and Leanne, 1957 to 2022, who died of ALS in March 2022. Uecker wed his second wife, Judy, in Louisiana in 1976. However, they separated in 2001. He was residing in Menominee Falls, Wisconsin at the time of the divorce. On April 27, 2010, Uecker revealed that he would have heart surgery and miss 10 to 12 weeks of the baseball season. He returned to broadcasting for the Brewers on July 23 after a successful operation 4 days later to replace his aortic valve and a portion of his aortic root. That being said, on October 14, to fix a tear at the location of his last valve replacement, the Brewers declared that Uecker would require more heart surgery. Playing career. In 1956, Uecker signed a professional deal with the Milwaukee Braves, his local team, following his Army duty. He played at different levels with several Braves affiliates throughout the course of the following 6 years. He played for Boise in the Pioneer League and the Eau Claire Bears in the Northern League during his rookie season, hitting 19 home runs for both clubs. In 1962, Uecker made his Major League Baseball debut as a catcher for the Braves. He had a .200 batting average at the end of his career and was regarded as a below-average hitter. He was thought to be a good defensive player, though, with a lifetime fielding percentage of .981 and rarely mistakes. Uecker led the league in passes even though he only played in 59 games in 1967. Balls that season and continues to be in the top 10 for the most balls passed in a season. His experience spent catching knuckleballer Phil Niekro played a big part in this. Uecker used to joke that the best method to catch a knuckleball was to wait for it to stop rolling before picking it up. Before rejoining the Braves, Uecker played for the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals, where he was a member of the 1964 World Series championship team. He later moved to Atlanta. In 1967, his 6-year MLB career came to an end. When Uecker hit a home run off a future Hall of Famer, it was one of the most memorable moments of his career. Koufax Sandy. I was afraid that home run would keep Koufax from being inducted into the Hall of Fame, Uecker joked. He also hit home runs off Gaylord Perry and Ferguson Jenkins, 2 other Hall of Famers. Sports knowledge beyond baseball. Uecker's knowledge of sports went beyond baseball. Bob Uecker's Wacky World of Sports and Bob Uecker's War of the Stars are 2 syndicated television programs that he hosted. One of the longest-running syndicated sports shows in American television history, the former later changed its name to Lighter Side of Sports, hosted by Mike Golick. Uecker made an appearance in several advertisements for the American Hockey League's Milwaukee Admirals in the middle of the 1990s. He redesigned the team's jerseys for one prominent advertisement, which included a colorful plaid design evoking the showy sports coats that Uecker was famous for in the 1970s and 1980s. The Admirals had a special ceremony in February 2006 to honor these advertisements, and the players donned the for a game wear plaid jerseys. Later, the jerseys were put up for charity auction. Announcing wrestling. Additionally, Uecker appeared in professional wrestling. He was the ring announcer for Hulk Hogan vs. Andre the Giant, the main event of WrestleMania 3 in Pontiac, Michigan in March 1987. The following year, Uecker made a comeback at WrestleMania 4, serving as a backstage interviewer, ringside announcer and commentator for the first Battle Royal. Andre the Giant famously strangling Uecker during a segment was one of the event's most memorable highlights. Career in broadcasting. Uecker left football to pursue a career in broadcasting, beginning with Atlanta's WSB-TV. He started announcing play-by-play for the Milwaukee Brewers radio broadcasts in 1971, and he continues to do so now. After 54 years with the Brewers, Uecker was the second longest active commentator with a single team in Major League Baseball by the 2024 season, only surpassed by the Kansas City Royals, 1969, present, Denny Matthews. Pat Hughes, Jim Powell, Corey Provis and Joe Block are just a few of the broadcasters that Uecker has coached throughout his time with the Brewers. These individuals all went on to become the main radio commentators for other Major League Baseball teams. Additionally, Uecker worked as a color commentator on network television for several years. In the 1970s and early 1980s he called games for ABC and ESPN. NBC in the 1990s with Joe Morgan and Bob Costas. He covered a lot of World Series and League Championship Series during this time. Uecker also broadcast the 1982 World Series locally for the Milwaukee Brewers on WSN. Due to health concerns, Uecker cut back on his travel and the number of road games he would call in 2014. Uecker relied on handshake agreements with team owners Bud Selig and Mark Attanasio for his play-by-play job before the 2021 season, never having signed an official contract with the Brewers. After his acting career's SAG-AFTRA benefits were reduced, he ultimately signed a contract in 2021 to be formally insured under the Brewers' health insurance plan. Uecker will start calling Brewers home games in 2022. With Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle on the Brewers radio network and WTMJ in Milwaukee. He is particularly well known for his catchphrase, "Get up, wake up, leave this place, gone," every time a home run is hit by a Brewers player. Acting career. Uecker appeared frequently during the span of the sitcom Mr. Belvedere from 1985 to 1990 in the role of George Owens, a sports writer and parent. Beginning in the 1980s, a series of Miller Lite commercials helped him become well known. Uecker is seen getting ready to watch a baseball game in one iconic advertisement when an usher informs him that he is in the wrong seat. "I must be in the front row," is Uecker's funny response and has since become one of his catchphrases. After it was revealed in the punchline that Uecker's seat was actually in the nosebleed section, the seats that are farthest away from the action in several stadiums and arenas have come to be known as Uecker seats. It even has a $1 section at American Family Field. The Uecker seats, so named because of one of his Miller Lite advertisements, are situated in an obstructed view region above home plate close to the stadium's roof pivot. "He missed the tag," is another catchphrase from this series that Uecker's character confidently uttered from his upper deck seat, distant from the action. Additionally, Uecker appeared as himself in TV series episodes including Who's the Boss?, DC Follies and Late Line, as well as in movies like OC and Stiggs and Fatal Instinct. He provided voice acting for the character head of Bob Uecker in the Futurama episode A Leela of Her Own. His performance in the Major League movie trilogy as the quirky Cleveland Indians commentator Harry Doyle is arguably his most well-known acting role. Doyle became well-liked for his clever comments and inebriated antics after losing games. Uecker's character is also well known for saying, "just a bit outside," which refers to Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn's outrageously off-target pitch. In addition to his broadcasting background with the Brewers, Uecker was chosen for this position because of the success of his Miller Lite ads. Uecker appeared as a guest on the Disney Plus series Monsters at Work in 2021, lending his voice to a self-parody called Bob Uecker. Rest in peace legend. Illness and cause of death. Bob Uecker passed away on January 16, 2025 at the age of 90. He had been privately battling small cell lung cancer since early 2023. Despite his illness, Uecker remained a beloved figure in the world of baseball, known for his humor, quick wit, and unique storytelling style. Thanks for being part of our lives. Share your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Share it with your family and friends, and do not forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification for more content like this.
We do it.